So we're going to be practicing our social distancing here on YouTube, and today's video is going to be a little bit different here. My desk is riddled with a bunch of stuff that I was shooting for that I was going to put on the channel, but I felt like, you know what, the tenor of everything that's happening, I felt like I needed to jump in here for those creatives, the filmmakers, photographers, podcasters, anyone who is a creator and freelancing, and talking about what is happening here, the whole tenor of the economy related to this crisis that we're going through. And so I've got some tips that I want to share with you. We're going to be talking about the business administrative, so like the hard line stuff for your business, for your creative business, and then also some business development things that you could be thinking about. And I know that this can be very overwhelming. I will tell you that I have started a business in a recession. It still exists today. It is not a creative business, but again, it survived a recession. And I want to help you try to survive whatever questionable economy that's happening right now. I also want to let you know, so I am in healthcare, and I want to make sure that you are all safe and healthy and not putting yourselves in jeopardy. I'm not going to try to just put out this PSA, but anything that I recommend to you as a creative, just be careful in these next coming weeks or even months regarding any kind of work that you're doing. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, so you beautiful humans out there, let's talk about your businesses. We've gotten the health stuff out of the way and just maintain that. But when it comes to what is happening in the economy, let's actually talk about some of the hard line business stuff to even think about. So first and foremost, whether you have done this or not, have you incorporated, have you organized your business? And if you haven't already, that's understandable, because I know that there are plenty of people who just are sole proprietors and they just put a line item on their personal taxes as far as like the money that they make as a freelancer, whether they get 1099 or not, and then they just pay their taxes. But one of the things too is that when you have an LLC or you're incorporated or you are organized in your state, there may be some type of net for you, like a safety net for you, as part of distancing yourself, your personal assets and your personal, like yourselves, from your business. So I'm not saying like go out right now and do those things. Obviously you would want to consult with either an attorney or an accountant, but I know right now, good luck maybe finding one that you can consult with. But I just wanted to put that out there, that the Small Business Administration, whether in your state or just on a federal level, there are going to be subsidies. We hope that the administrations are going to be putting out there, your actual states should be putting out there to help you, float you for any kind of payroll things that are happening. I know here in Colorado, they have actually talked about some payroll reduction or payroll subsidy. So let's say that you are a freelancer, but you have employees and you have payroll that you are having a hard time making, or that you don't want to have to lay somebody off. So if somebody was working for you for like 40 hours a week, but you can only pay them for 20 hours a week or only give them 20 hours worth of work, then I know here in the state of Colorado, they're looking at matching those funds, so that if you as the employer are paying at least a portion of their salary, that government will help subsidize some of that payroll for you. And then, of course, some things to think about, whether you have a credit card, a corporate card, or a business credit card, or even on your personal credit cards. This is something that I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to your debt. So if you have this revolving debt, this unsecured debt on your credit card, not trying to make you feel bad at all. I know in business, especially in startup, or even when you're just humming right along and you are making charges, you are buying or renting or putting money out there because of all of these conferences or weddings or things like that. So you may have charged your card thinking like, well, I'll be able to pay those off once I get that, that work, I complete the work, and then I'm able to pay off my credit card. Well, maybe you're in a situation where you are riding on a balance. And like I said, even from a personal standpoint, even if you don't have a business, I would suggest you calling your credit card company and just saying, hey, this is the situation, this is what's going on. I mean, I'm trying to be as apolitical here as possible. There are rumblings out there, and I do follow the market, and I am a businessman. I have been for a long time, that the banks are talking about all this liquidity that they have, and they want to be able to lend to small businesses. If you have a credit card with a balance on it, and let's say that it has a high interest rate on it, is there something that credit card can do? thing is, folks, it does not hurt to just talk to them. It does not hurt to just have a conversation with them. See what they're willing to do to work with you on any kind of payment plan. Would they be able to push a payment for a month or another month? Can they lower the payment? Can they lower your interest rate? What can they do for you? But the thing is they don't know what they can do for you if you don't ask. So they don't know. So you must call them. Also, the grants that could be happening. So I know that I have seen out on Twitter and social that the entire states and municipalities, they are looking to provide grants and subsidies to small businesses, because the thing is that it's the small business that keeps this country running. All of these small businesses, the ones that are paying these payroll taxes, that are employing people, even if you're just employing yourselves, but you're likely paying taxes on those funds that you're getting for the services that you're providing. We are the backbone of this country. And so what I just have to say is look into any kind of grants or subsidies that your government may be putting out there. And of course, I know I don't particularly go over to the Facebook. That was terrible. I don't hang out on Facebook, but I did see where Facebook is trying to infuse about $100 million worth of grants, and then of course ad credits. Whether you like Facebook or not, this is certainly a social media platform, a business that could potentially pave the way for other businesses to say, hey, yeah, we kind of want to follow that path as well. We want to help out small businesses. So whether you want to go through Facebook or some other business, like I said, it doesn't have to be Facebook. But when you have large organizations like that, whether you like them or not, it can certainly start blazing the trails for others to follow. And then something on the invoicing and the cancellation. So I'm sure many of you may have had a contract. I hope you've had your contracts. Look at those contracts. This is definitely the time to be looking at your contracts as to whether you have cancellation policies in there and deposits, and are deposits refundable. Here's the thing. If you had an agreement, a contract with a corporation, with a business, because you were doing corporate photography and filmmaking or creative work, is this something where you could go to the business and say, okay, well, I know in the contract it says this, but could you work out something to say, like, you might not be needing me right now, or you have things on hold. Is this something that we could work on in the next couple of months? So rather than giving them back a deposit or charging them a kill fee or cancellation fee, is this something that your business can survive if you are able to give that back, as far as looking at the long-term gain here? Because that relationship could be strengthened by the fact that, hey, listen, you're going through it, I'm going through it. You know what? I've got a little bit in the bank here. I've got a little bit of a buffer, so I can forgo that kill fee, or I can return a deposit or return part of the deposit. I know this is harder, like if you are a wedding photographer or filmmaker, that you're dealing with individuals and everything just blew up for them as well. And I'd have to ask yourself, this is definitely a personal thing as to whether you want to give that back, or is that something that you're like, you know what? I'm a small business. I've got to survive another day. I've got to be able to shoot another wedding. Or is there something that you could say, like, listen, even if you guys go to a courthouse and get married or elope or whatever, maybe you'll eventually get your family and friends together, and I still want to film your wedding. So is this something that we can just kind of bookmark? I'll hold on to the deposit. We'll work together, whatever it is. But just try to figure out a way that you can work something out that is agreeable to both sides and that doesn't completely put you underwater as a business owner, but also looking at that long-term gain, where you've built that equity with that relationship because you've been so awesome to say, like, you know what, I want to continue to work with you. Whatever it is that we need to do to come to an agreement, let's do that. Going through all of the things that you have maybe filmed throughout your freelance career, like I said, whether it be landscapes or product photography, could you reach out to businesses on social media, that especially those that are active on social media, and say, hey, I still see that you're trying to post and you're active and you're having conversations with your community over there, your customers. Listen, I think I've actually got some photos that could be great for your Instagram or your Facebook pages or whatever. Reach out to them and say, listen, I've got like 3 perfect photos I think that you'll love, and I can put those together for you, edit them, and then give those to you to share on your social platforms for, I don't know, $150, $200, $250, whatever is reasonable for you in wherever you are in the world or the country, whatever you would charge for something like that, just to kind of continue to get some of that income, helping out a business that may not have access to that type of content because maybe they don't have a deep library or archive of that content, and you reaching out to them saying, I think I've got something that would be perfect for your brand, and putting that all together for them in a nice little package so that they can continue to promote whatever business they're in. Because the thing is with this economy is that people want to make sure, businesses want to make sure that, hey, listen, we're still here. We are still going to be rocking this. We want to continue to serve our community, serve our customers. And that's the thing with the recession, is that one of the things that does get deprioritized is your marketing budgets. But one of the things that shouldn't get deprioritized is your marketing budget. Because granted, I know that you want to maintain payroll, but at the same time, you also want to maintain presence. You want to let people know we are out here. And so going back to that promotional aspect of products, so the fact that NAB and Expos and South by Southwest, so all of these brands that were potentially going to be launching these products, these services that now don't have access to you to do that PR for them, is that something that maybe you could reach out to these brands and say, hey, I was going to go to South by Southwest, I was filming this event, or I was going to do these things. Are there things that you could be helping them with so that they can continue to put out that content? So building on that Instagram, what we are talking about here is that if they want that PR that they were going to get at these events, is that something that you can do remotely? Could they send you, depending on what it is, a sample or a view unit or whatever that you can actually photograph, film, or talk about and help them out, put that all together for them? And it doesn't necessarily have to be on a YouTube channel, but that's something that I'm going to talk about in an upcoming video, is starting a YouTube channel in this climate, but really just putting together something for them that you can package up and then send that to them, and then they can just post on their own platform. So that could be something where they still want to get out that product or service that they are trying to launch, and they still need access to someone like you because maybe they don't have anybody in-house to do that. Just trying to brainstorm here with you. Like I said, maybe you don't do product shots, but this might be the time to learn that, or to try to hone that skill to diversify your portfolio right now. Look at your online portfolio. If you don't already have a website, definitely get a website, but this could be the time to really update that portfolio and that website. You have this time on your hands, invest that time in your business and trying to think about, I want to make this work. I want to continue this. And so I want to be ready. So when things like when the switch gets flipped back on, I want to be able to hit the ground running. And then of course, going back to what you did before you were a freelancer. So whether you actually had a job or did you have multiple side hustles so that you could become this creative freelancer? So did you do like Uber Eats? Did you like clean homes? Were you like a handy person, someone to help people put in light bulbs and fix things? Or did you work in a situation that allowed you the freedom to do that kind of freelance work on the side, and ask yourself, okay, is this something that I could get back into? Because there are going to be various needs out there. And I'm not saying that's what you got to do full time, because I'm sure plenty of you are like, I worked my butt off so that I could become this freelancer and this creative, and now it's all just going to go away. If you really want it, if you want to fight for it, there may be some things that you have to pivot to just temporarily to then give you that footing so that you can get back into that creative lifestyle. And of course, if you've got the equipment or you've got a little bit of a budget for equipment, I certainly did some videos on doing things on the cheap. This could be a time to really start a podcast, because again, it kind of works in the social distancing aspects of it, where you can just talk about your journey. I'm not saying you have to start a YouTube channel, but that's something else, and that'll be in an upcoming video about some YouTube channels that could be perfect for you to create some additional revenue sources. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've done several podcasting videos on here. And like I said, that could be something that you could diversify, even just a creative outlet, because the point of entry is very low. So, is starting a podcast, is this the right time to start a podcast? I mean, if you are in your four walls and you are not out there a lot, and all you have to talk to is like your dog or your cat, or like maybe your kids, and you're like, I need to talk to somebody else, then yeah, maybe start a podcast. And then of course, if you want to take a little bit of that salt out of the wound, maybe you could actually foster a puppy. I can't believe we actually did this. We already have a dog, 3 kids, and yes, we are hosting a puppy until this puppy actually finds a new home. This puppy does not have a name yet. Maybe you could actually help us out and put some name ideas in the comments below. And of course, as always, go out there, or maybe go out in your backyard, do those things that matter, keep rocking those faces, and until next time, I'll catch you right back here on the next one. She doesn't really say too much.